Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing a review for the movie Amy. For those who don't know what this movie's about, it's basically the Amy Winehouse documentary, showing her rise and fall. So yeah, and this movie has archive footage and some interviews by some of the people in her life, and yeah, this movie stars Amy Winehouse, obviously. Um, Jocelyn Bay, which is like one of her music producers, Mark Ronson, Pete Doherty, Mitch Winehouse, which is her father, Tony Bennett, Blake Fielder Seville, Tyler James, Salam Remy, Nick Shemeski, Monta Lipman, Blake Wood, Janice Winehouse, Juliet Ashby, Lauren Gilbert, um, let's see, Phil Maynell, Sam Beste, Ray Cosbert, Andrew Morris, Lucien Gregan, let's see, Chip Summers, Dale Davis, Shamir Dillon, Darkest Bessie, Christina Romet, Guy Moot, Nick Gatfield, Frankie Boyle, Russell Crowe, Natalie Cole, Vernon Kay, Alicia Keys, Jay Leno, David Letterman, Graham Norton, Sophie Ranorth, Jay-Z, Jonathan Ross, and yeah, that's basically it for the whole cast. Yeah. They show the most of the cast through archive footage and stuff like that, and then also they have a few interviews and voiceovers with some of the people in her life. So yeah, before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual. For those who have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already, stop the video, go check it out, and then come back here and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually watch the movie Amy, the documentary on her life, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that I never gave you a fair warning because as usual I did. So yeah, Amy, as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and rate. Pretty simple. It's a documentary on Amy Winehouse. It shows her rise, her rise to stardom, her peak when she, peaked, then her fall and decline with the drugs and her eventual death and OD. And basically what happened, everything in between there, how her dad kind of used her to some degree, or he seemingly used her to some degree. The dad, for some reason, had a reality show, towards the latter part of her life, within like the last 5 years, so that was weird. It showed her relationships with, Russell Crowe, I believe, right, yeah, or Russell Brand, Russell Crowe, Russell Brand or Russell Crowe, fuck, I already forgot the name. Um, yeah, Russell Brand, and Blake Fielder Seville or Sybil. It showed her like music experiences with Jocelyn Bay, Mark Ronson, Salam Remy, and all these other big people in the music world. It showed her small stint with Tony Bennett, and yeah, basically showed her rise and fall. Now there has been some controversy with this documentary already. There has been some controversy, and that's basically because the way they portray her, mostly because of the way they portray her. Now the parents, her dad to be more specific, he basically, how do I say, said that the Amy Winehouse, it says that the daughter isn't portrayed as he would like her to be portrayed. Like he does admit that she did have her troubles, but especially within like the last 3 or 4 years of her life, that he felt like the director didn't really portray Amy's last few years, like 3 or 4 years, the best he could. Basically, what he means by that is that he says that he feels like the last 3 or 4 years of Amy Winehouse's life, the way they are portrayed in the movie, it seems like she was all depressed. It was all negative. Like nobody really had, she really had nobody to actually help her. And yeah, I can see where that campaign is coming from because within like the last 3 or 4 years of her life, because she died in 2011, so the last 3 or 4 years will be like 2008, 2009, 10, and 11. I do have to agree, it does kind of feel like they weren't portraying the good parts of her life towards that. They were always showing her like her drugs, how she was taking drugs, or there were people trying to help her, get out of drugs, rehab and all that. But it seems like nobody really, from her perspective, it kind of seemed like nobody really wanted to help her, and then she eventually died. So there is that. So yeah, now I'm not gonna say I'm a huge Amy Winehouse fan. Aside from like Rehab, her song Rehab, and the fact that she went into rehab, and that she died like in 2011, I really don't know much about her for my life. I will say she has a great voice, incredible voice, and she's really hot. I'm not gonna lie, she's really fucking hot. Damn. Uh, so yeah. I mean, she has an incredible voice. She has one of those. She's one of the few people who I think has maybe some of the rawest, most raw, most authentic voices. There's a very few musicians, in my opinion, that I could say, yeah, that person has a really raw, has a really authentic voice. I mean, the only other people I could think of is Elvis Presley, Kurt Cobain, and I'm kind of biased on that one to begin with. Elvis Presley, Kurt Cobain, Whitney Houston, that's and Amy Winehouse. That's basically it. And Freddie Mercury. But aside from that, that's basically it. I can't really say anybody else has a really raw, authentic voice in the music industry. I really can't say that someone has an authentic voice. I can't, aside from like the people I just mentioned, again, Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, Kurt Cobain, Freddie Mercury, and Elvis Presley, I can't really think of anybody else who has that much of an authentic voice. So she is an incredible singer. I'm not going to deny that. So yeah, and I do want to listen to more of her music. I will say that. So basically, how was the movie as a whole? Well, it did get me to want to listen to more of her music. Because again, the only song I knew of hers was Rehab. No, great range. I can't sing for my life. So I mean, she isn't. I do want to listen to more of her music, so I will say that, and that's pretty interesting because I'm more into metal, rock. I'm into all types of rock, whether it be Elvis Presley, Kurt Cobain, Freddie Mercury, or anything in between. I'm more into rock, so for me wanting to go into look, she's more of an R&B jazz singer, so me too want to go into a bit more into that field of music is pretty interesting. I do have that one song Rehab on my playlist, so there is that. So yeah, but I do have to agree. I do feel like they show more of the negative side of her life than they do the happier side of her life. After she hits prime, after she's in her prime around 2005, 6, and 7, I do think anything below 2007, anything before 2007, before she won the Grammy for Best Single or Best Album with Rehab, anything before that, I think they did show the good parts of her life. Like, they showed some of the bad parts, but they showed most of the good parts of her life. And then I think in the latter half, like the last 3 or 4 years, 2008 till 2011, which was her death, July 23rd, 2011 to be more specific, 2011. I do think like they showed more of the darker side of her life. Now that's not to say people don't have dark sides of their lives. Some people do drugs. People have dark histories, dark pasts. Even at my age, I already have a dark history, so to speak. Surgery, but that's a whole different issue. So yeah, so I do think that they kind of, the director kind of did miss that balance to show an equal balance of light and dark in life. Like, I do feel like he showed too much light for like 2/3 of the movie, and then too much darkness within the last third. I do think there has to be a balance. Also, this movie is a bit too long. It's a little bit over 2 hours long, and I do think it could have been cut down by at least 15 minutes. I do think it could have been cut down to about 15 minutes. A good 15 minutes. Be an hour and 45 minutes, somewhere around there, but about almost 2 hours long, a little bit over 2 hours long. And I do think it could have cut some stuff out. There are some stuff times where it kind of starts lagging, or starts getting boring, and you kind of just go through the motion. They're kind of just montaging through a bunch of her Grammy wins, or some of her songs or album sales or whatever. And I'm not saying that the montages are bad. It is an interesting insight into the world she was in, but I just felt like the movie kind of lagged in that regards. So I mean, aside from the fact that there is an unequal balance of darkness and light, dark and light within the movie, and how it's portrayed, as was the controversy. I mean, the controversy, I think it's pretty evident to some degree. It is kind of evident. You just, um, as long as you know about the controversy, and then once you see the movie, or if you see the movie first and then hear about the controversy about how there's it's kind of kind of misportraying Amy Winehouse, you kind of do get that sense of feeling, because I read about, they're kind of misportraying Amy Winehouse in the movie. I'm like, okay, let's see. And yes, they are misportraying Amy Winehouse to some degree. I do feel like there are times where they're portraying her more negatively than they should, or more positively when they should. When at the same time, I know she just won the Grammys, but I'm pretty sure she was just taking drugs the day before. So what the hell is going on here? So, I mean, that's not just, yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Amy Winehouse. Again, that aside from like Rehab, she was in Rehab. She died in 2011, and that she's hot, and that she was from London. I really didn't know much about her. So, pretty great movie in my opinion. I think if I knew more about her, about her music and stuff, I do think I would have enjoyed the film more. But for what it was, I really did enjoy it. Now, I did watch another documentary again about another 27 Club member, Kurt Cobain, about a month ago, and I thought that one was better in my opinion because and here's the reason why. It's not because it was a better story or whatever, because again, it's just documentary, right? Same situation: rise, prime, fall, death. Interestingly enough, they both well, it's argued. Could you say Kurt Cobain OD'd? I mean, he OD'd and then supposedly shot himself. That's a whole different situation, but whatever. The only difference is, and it's evident that with the Kurt Cobain movie, I connected more. Why? Because I like the music of Nirvana. I like Nirvana. I like Kurt Cobain. I like their music, and I know most of their songs. Again, Mr. Mustache. Wow, that's the first one I start off with. Smells Like Teen Spirit, Rape Me. Come As You Are, About a Girl, Aneurysm. I know more of their songs than I know about Amy Winehouse, which the only one I knew about is Rehab, and up until now, the only one I still know is about Rehab. I still haven't checked out her music. So yeah. Yeah. Overall, though, pretty great movie. I do see where there are some flaws with it. You could definitely tell after you learn about the controversy with it, but overall, it's still overall, it's still a pretty great movie in my opinion. It's still a pretty good movie. It's a pretty great movie. If you're a fan of Amy Winehouse, do definitely check out this movie. Don't miss it for the world. If you like documentaries, if you like Amy Winehouse, if you like movies about music, check out this movie. If you like movies about jazz, if you like movies in general, check out this movie. Yeah, I mean, I came in here blind, knowing about some Amy Winehouse documentary, Rehab. She was in Rehab. She's hot and she's from London. Let's get into it. That's all I knew. And that she died in 2011. Actually didn't know she died July 23rd, 2011. That was interesting. Which is like in 2 days, because I'm filming this on the 21st. So as of this point, it's 23rd. So yeah. Overall though, pretty great movie. So yes, that would have been when she died 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. Really great movie in my opinion. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'd give this an 8.25 out of 10. Again, if I just connected more to Amy Winehouse, if I knew more about her life, her story, and if they didn't portray it so light in the beginning for 2/3 of the movie and so dark towards the end, if they had a more equal balance, and if it was shortened a bit more, I do think this could have been an almost perfect movie. Again, the one major thing, even if the 2 out of those, even if it was about an hour and 45 minutes, and even if it did have an equal balance, I don't think it would have been a perfect 10, mostly because I don't know much about Amy Winehouse. Didn't know. I mean, she's pretty great. Do like her voice. Again, one of the rawest voice I've ever heard in a person. But still, I think that's my major problem. I don't know much about Amy Winehouse. I did learn a lot from the documentary, but before going into the documentary, I didn't know much. So I think that, I could say I did like it because it did teach me about Amy Winehouse, and that's always interesting in a documentary, just learning about the certain topic. So, yeah, I still enjoy it, but I think the connection is the biggest part, the biggest link that's missing from there, the connection between me and Amy Winehouse as a person, and do I like her music or not? I think that's the biggest missed link, missed connection. So yeah, again, 8.25 out of 10 is what I'd give Amy. Again, definitely do check it out if you haven't already, especially if you love Amy Winehouse and her music, or that type of music, jazz, R&B. Definitely do check it out. And yeah, that's basically it for this review. Subscribe, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the movie. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.